Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 5 of 2420. We have completed our 20 days in the second village, which we did mining village. You can see here day 45, meaning it's time that we set out and find our third village. Let's go ahead and take a look around of what we did. We have our beautiful mining cage here with a hole straight down to bedrock. We had our mining motels, as we started calling them last episode, for our workers to be able to stay in. And more like a rec center, bigger building at the end that we put the rest of the beds down, so that way everybody had a bed. And then we had our kind of smeltery home base. This is where the bell is, the center of the village, where we kind of call ourselves home. But it's time that we move on. So what I'm thinking, we got quite a bit of resources here. As you can see, I am not planning on taking most of them with me this go around, but I'm going to take this saddle and this diamond horse armor, and I'm actually going to take the second saddle. And I'm going to go and see if we can find a good horse to take, because I don't really know where the next village is. We just start walking, but I am going to take our diamonds, our coal, and our iron. We're gonna leave the rest of the stuff. We know that we can come back and get it. Eventually we're gonna connect to another and put another portal in each of these. But I want to take these two saddles and this lead and this horse armor in case we, one, get a fast horse, or two, we get a donkey. That way we can put a chest on the donkey and take more stuff with us from place to place. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna start walking around and testing how many hearts each horse has. If it has just about as many as that one had, I know that we can get more. I think the most I've seen is like 4 extra hearts from the base. Looks like there's a ruined portal over there we'll have to go check out. It looks like there's a lot of other horses down this side of the hill. I'm just going to jump on the top of each one until I find one that I feel like is pretty good. That one didn't go so quick I couldn't see. So that was just the regular base amount of hearts. I don't really want to tame them all to figure out if it's fast or jumps high, because I know each horse has its own attributes that way. I really just care about how many hearts it has. Dang, they kicked me off fast. Again, just the regular base heart. That one had 2 extra. That one had less than the regular amount. I think we're probably going to end up going with this one that has 2 extra. So they both have 2 extra. I guess it doesn't really matter which one then. Let's go and check out what's over here in this ruined portal. I got a giant gold block here at the top. Maybe we got some good stuff. Maybe we got like a buried treasure map or something. I can't remember if those generate in portals or not. Sharpness 1, sword, curse of binding. I don't want those. And 1 piece of obsidian. Not the best. But we got a gold block down here surrounded by lava. So I will take this piece of netherrack and put that there. And let's check. Good thing I checked that there's no lava there. We'll put that there to get rid of it. And take the gold block. And we'll take a bit of extra netherrack from the side here. I don't know, like 4 or so to go up and get the gold block at the top. Oh, I forget it does this. That's frustrating. We'll go 1 there. We'll jump over to this one and stack up 3. And this will be enough that we can reach it. We'll mine that away. Don't really have any use for gold, but I guess I'm just like a dwarf. I have to take it whenever I see it, right? So that wasn't the best portal, but we got a little bit of resources there. We'll go back and check. I think there were some more black horses that we missed. So we'll see if there were any that we missed, and if not, we'll end up taming one of these 2 horses here that had the 2 hearts. That one there, yeah. I think that's probably I don't see any others on the horizon that we haven't trained. So we'll go ahead and tame this guy. This can take forever. All you gotta do is you just gotta keep jumping back on the top until they finally decide that they're cool. And it doesn't matter if you feed them. I know some people think that you need to feed them apples or straw bales and just keep shoving it in them and they'll tame quicker, but that doesn't work. You just gotta keep riding on here. A long time there. And now we can put that on, and might as well put the horse armor on, and we're gonna go. Well, it looks like we've came across a village here. I headed off this direction because I remembered that there was a mangrove swamp, but it looks like it's right next to the savannah biome. There's a few of them up there. We got here super quick. It's still day 45. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of explore the village, and honestly, I'm going to tear it all down because it looks like there's about 4 or 5 total houses, and I think I have an idea of what I want this village to look like. So I'm going to tear it down, and I'll catch you as I start building it up. So here we are, we're back. Like I said, I tore everything down. You could kind of see off there in the distance. I put a box down for our villagers. But I went and I harvested some mangrove trunks here. Mangrove is one of my favorite new blocks. I just love the dark color of it, that dark red color. The crimson from the nether is just too bright of a red for what I prefer. This is more like a mahogany. I just love the color. But what I'm thinking for this village is, because it is so close to this mangrove swamp, and it's also just next to the savannah, which is in a bunch of water, I kind of want to go for a water type village where our houses are up on pillars. And whenever I saw the savannah, that's kind of what I thought of immediately too, because there's a couple of different house generations in the savannah that generate like up on fence posts. So that's kind of the direction I wanted to go with it, but I want it to be more blended in with the mangrove swamp than I do the savannah. So we're going to use mangrove logs. If you remember, I bought a jungle log and jungle saplings from a wandering trader. So we're going to use some jungle logs, jungle planks, mangrove planks, and their varieties, and probably just kind of steer clear of savannah blocks, the acacia blocks. Might do our walkways in that orange color, just so it does kind of blend in with the environment a little more. But this is what I'm seeing so far. Speeding it up a little bit so you guys aren't watching the entire process and cutting out the little parts where I go and get more stuff. But we're putting it up on a still here above the water, and we're mixing in the mangrove and the jungle colors. So you have this dark reddish color and this light pinkish color. They both have a little bit of a red pink hue to them. So I think they blend really well. I don't really have a system or a pattern for how I'm putting them in. I just kind of am trying to go more mangrove than I am jungle. Just because I think with the mangrove swamp behind that darker color blends in a little more. And we're going to add plenty of windows and skylight features to this. We'll do one full wall of just like mangrove, no windows or anything that we can look at. And that'll be the side that we're using to like put things like chests and stuff like that. So that is what we're going to do here. And I will catch you once I get it done. There we have it. We got that one done, and I'll show you a little bit more of it here in a minute, but I'm going ahead and putting in a little bit of the walkway. Like I said, I want to keep the walkway this orange just so it does blend in a little bit with the savannah, but I don't like the orange blocks as a major color scheme, like on buildings and things. But we're going to mix in these planks and the acacia trap doors. And we'll probably mix in a little bit of jungle planks. Let's see what that looks like if we just put that next to it. Yeah, like I said, it has a bit of a pink red hue to it, so it does work with this orange one, but I'm not going to put in a ton of them. And I also want to kind of leave, well, that's annoying me that the little gray part is sideways, because they're all gonna, I want them all to go the same direction. But what I also want to leave a bit of like gaps through it, just because I want it to seem just like it's kind of like one of those ropey old style plank bridges. So we'll leave a couple gaps, and if we keep falling through them, then I may come back in and put like fence posts in them, because a fence post has a 1.5 tall block height, and these planks are on the half slab above the water, meaning that as you walk over them, you'll actually stay on the exact same walking level as you would the plank. And if you fall on top of the trapdoor, you're gonna go down a little. But here you can see, this is where I'm thinking we should put our second hut that's above the water. I put down these fence posts just because I had them, but I don't actually think I want to leave those. If the other house is on logs, I kind of think and especially if we're putting fence posts down here, because you have to put something down next to them to make it look like it's holding it up. Like I said, right there, you actually stay on the same level. But yeah, I don't think, if I'm going to put these fence posts down as the thing that's holding these up, I really don't think I want the hut to stand on the fence post, especially because the other ones are on mangrove and jungle logs. So I'm going to replace those, and I still want them to be fence style, so I'll probably replace them with mud fences. But we can go ahead, and I'm not going to go all the way around like that. I'm going to have them more like pylons. But we could go ahead and start putting some of the slabs on the top, or getting ready to put slabs across the top. Because that's the other thing we're doing. We're starting all of the builds on the half slab at the bottom, like as a support. You can see that we put stairs there on the underside to make them look like it's being supported. So we can put those through there, and I will go and change out for the mud bricks. And then we'll build up, and I think I'm going to go with a little bit of a different style for this one. We're not going to do the mangrove logs for the sides, because we're not doing them as the pylons. So here's what I want to show you. We're going to start on the underside, just like this. Well, we want it upside down, so it looks like it's actually supporting something. And again, we're mixing it in between jungle and mangrove, preferably more mangrove than jungle. Like so. I don't really care if they're catty corny or not. Doesn't look like that one actually got put correctly. Put that one there. One thing I really like about this path that I didn't intentionally do is that with those trapdoors there, you can jump back on it pretty easily. We'll go ahead and put in the half slabs here. I'm gonna need to make a couple more. And then we'll make those the floor too. So they not only are supporting the walls by being that way, but they're also the floor of the hut. And like I said, we're doing a little bit of a different style here because we have these mud walls. Instead of doing the sides in the logs, I'm going to do the sides in some fence posts, I think. So we'll get the floor all built in and some of the walls put on before we really decide that. But we'll go ahead and got the floor there. That's our base. It's a small hut. I am planning to kind of spread out what I use each of these huts for. So the first one I built behind us is kind of like the main hut where my bed is. I have a chest in there right now and a furnace. Could add way more chest if I wanted to. So this one, I really don't have an intention for this one right now because, again, I mean, kind of like the mining motels and all of the buildings we built in the farming village. I'm also just trying to provide a new look to the village too, something that isn't the Java generation, something that is unique in my style. So that's what I am doing here too, this one is just doing a little more functional for each one. Instead of just a bunch of buildings that look nice, some of them have specific functions like storage or where I sleep, or maybe where I'm going to cook all of our resources or things, like all the fish we'll be catching. But like I said, I think I want here, as I'm looking at just that plank there, I wanted to test it out. I really don't like that. So let's go through and put on the corners here the fence post. And I like this idea because, and I'll show you here in a second, as you put a fence post down on top of one of these walls, it gets smaller, making it look like you have this strong structural base below them. And then I really like how they will connect to the planks as we build it up. And I think that jungle and the mud blends in pretty well. I think they have a pretty similar color to them, kind of muted, especially as the fence is kind of small. You don't get a ton of that pink style. So I'm going to leave that. We have windows on every side. We'll go ahead and make it 3 high. That way we can have a door and then something that goes over the door. And then for the roof here, I'm just thinking a pretty regular roof. We did kind of a flat roof on the other side. It wasn't super pitched. So we'll continue with the flat roof idea here. And once I got that in, I want to put in one more building today. And it's going to be kind of like a storage building. I want it half on the land, half in the water. I mean, definitely less than half. It's pretty much all the way in the water, just a little bit on land. And I want to keep the same style of using these trunks on parts that are halfway on land, halfway on water. Just because I think that makes sense. If you're on land, you need a thicker trunk than if you're on water. You don't want as much that's going to get rotted out. We'll go ahead and get rid of these. And we're not going to do this one as high as the other one because of the fact that it's majority over water. We don't need it too high. That other one over there is majority on land, honestly. So keeping it too high makes it easier to walk under from any direction. So we're going to start with this one. I made sure to lay this one out as 5x5. The first one we did, I think the inside, that is, was 4x4. This inside will be 5x5, and it will only be one door. Because when you do an even number and you have 2 doors to get in, villagers just lose their minds. They find that so difficult. So we're trying to keep him 1 door wide. And again, we're putting the upside down stairs to make it look like it's supporting the structure, and putting slabs down as the floor. So the plans, I guess we haven't really talked about that. The plans for this village so far, village number 3, is we're giving it a sort of fishing style vibe, a sort of fishing style theme, something that's over the water. All of our villagers will be fishermen, not really got a farming purpose or a mining purpose. It's honestly, this is the first village that we're just building to build what looks cool to me. So with some of our extra time, we are not worried about, well, I need to go mine and I need to get diamonds, or I really need to replenish my food stock, or any of that kind of stuff. We can kind of just build as we are inspired to, put down more buildings as we look around and think, oh, that'd be really cool to put one there, or maybe we want to put like a part that looks like the fish drying rack because they're such avid fishers. They need to be able to dry their fish out. It could really go whichever direction we want it to. And I just really like that. So the other 2 had a very specific purpose. I needed to get diamonds. I needed to get iron. I needed to get geared up for the rest of the series in the last village. And on the first one, I needed food. Like, you starve pretty quickly if you don't focus on food as one of your first things, or you're constantly going out and killing animals, or you're constantly having to remember to go back and breed your animals every day. And so that's why we started with the first village as a farming village and then moved on to the mining village, so that way we weren't utterly annihilated anytime we walked outside. But at this point, I feel pretty confident in our setup so far. I wish I had more diamonds, And that is something that I can go back and do a little bit with this village, because we don't really have a specific goal in mind. Like this village at the end of the 20 days, we have set up an iron farm, or this village at the end of the 20 days, we have connected to the nether and gotten all of our other villages on the nether system. This one's just at the end of the 20 days, I've built a village that I think looks great. And so because of that, in between, we can head back and do some mining, or we can head back to the original village and do some farming. And I actually do want to head back to that village at some point during these 20 days, because once we got here, I don't know if you noticed, they had watermelon out. And I think I got some pumpkins along the way from just out in the open, and I may have left them in the other village. So we'll check the mining village before we go back to the farming village. But now that we have a horse, and we can get there pretty quick, especially because we honestly have not made it very far through the world yet. All of these villages we have found within a day. And I mean, from this village, I can almost see the last village I was in, because I remember when I was exploring the first one, I could see just the edge of what looked like this mangrove swamp. So that's great. It means that we can run back and go mining for 3 days if we want to, or we can run back to the farming village and do a little bit of farming if we want to, and not feel like we're not going to get accomplished what we want to get accomplished at this one. So that's kind of the plan with this village, and kind of the plan for the next, honestly, the next 10 days after this 10 too. This house coming along, I kind of wanted to do an offset, like a pushed back entrance here. Instead of just a square 5x5 inside, we have a pushed back entrance, which just gives it some more shape. And then we put like the stairs around the edge to just give it, I don't know, kind of like similar to a bank vault, but that's not really what I was going for. But beefy kind of door around the door. In another world that I have, I use that kind of style as a hobbit hole entrance, as a type of circle around a hobbit hole, and it worked pretty well. So that's what I brought in here, to just kind of direct your eyes into the door. Then because we have this pushback wall, we're going to put some of the windows on the farther back, and then we're going to put 2 high windows off the backside, because on this one, I think I am going to go for a little bit higher of a roof than what you saw across there. Again, we had a flat roof on our first one, and that second one, if you're looking over, once I get out of my inventory, has a pretty flat roof also. So what we are going to do on this one, though, is we're going to provide it just a little bit more of a upward shape to it. Again, we're starting flat, but then I want to go a little higher towards the top. And then we get to leave a little bit of like sunlight, skylight in the top by doing that too. So we're going to start on this side. We'll just put our planks over this way, come back over here and do the exact same thing on this side. And again, mixing in jungle as we see fit. I kind of like to do, sometimes I like to do jungle connecting to jungle, and other times I feel like I've had too much mangrove, I need to put in a jungle. So you're seeing both of those right there. Those two connect, and those two are kind of starting to grow. Us watch there. Now we're going to put in a stair going, or we're going to put in a plank, so then we can then go all the way across and put in a stair up on those, and they'll meet in the middle at an even block. So we will put in a half slab across the middle. I'm also thinking right there we need an upside down stair. I don't know, that kind of rounds out our circle, and it leaves that skylight at the top. I'll leave that there, and I don't know, I don't entirely like it yet. We'll see if it grows on me. I think removing this underside will do us better, because it leaves just a bigger hole there as opposed to the small half slab hole. Let's go ahead and finish this roof, and then we will have finished the construction of this third building. And I think I'm only going to build 3 buildings today, and I'll let it sit and decide if I want to continue out further into the water of the swamp, if I want to continue out further along the coastline here, I kind of like the one out in that water, so I want to have more out into the water like that second one we did. I just need to decide if I want to do them going further out in a straight line, or if I want to take them closer to where we have our villagers currently, where the old village was. And we can do that next episode. So we can finish these three and then kind of spend some time moving some of our stuff over and making this space usable. We need to go ahead and finish our roof here. Just got to put in a couple of stairs. And then we will put in our slabs. Looks like I've been forgetting to do the edges here, the overhangs. And another one here. And now we can slab this top off. Again, kind of mixing in our jungle. Did a little stronger bands on this one than just flex. And now that one's done. We do need to put in the windows, I guess I just realized. Still need to put in windows here. But I like this. Leave some open air. I don't quite like that. I wonder if instead of this solid block, we did an upside, or not an upside down stairs, but a regular stair there. It still looks like a block from there, but it just gives a little more shape there. I like that more. We'll leave it. And where you need to light up the inside, so nothing's gonna spawn. Because of course we're gonna put in some beds so our villagers can use the place. And no need to be looking out into the other house. I do think I want to continue looking out into the land there though. Let's go ahead, and I need to make a couple more trapdoors so we can put in our windows. I don't use a lot of glass in these villages just because harvesting the sand, smelting the glass, and putting it up is a lot of work for, one, a place I don't plan on staying very long, and two, I just don't feel like glass really goes with the style of a lot of the villages I do. Like the mining village, I think using the iron bars really went a lot more with the style than what using glass windows would have. And with the first one, I just didn't have the time to go mine sand, smelt it with the limited coal I had found, and then come back. So this one's done now. We're going to put another torch. It just seems dark in here. And now I can run over. First, I'm going to open up this, put all of this crap back in here. I'll tell you what. I think boats with chests go underappreciated because since I'm working on this kind of water village, being able to just throw my stuff in a chest is awesome. But yeah, day 52, meaning we've made it 3 more days until we'll be at 10. Day 53 now, because like I said, I grabbed some stuff, I spread it around. You can see some new barrels over here to give it this fishing village. I went and put a chest in. I have my bed, a furnace, crafting table, nothing in the chest yet. But like I said, we can put more chests in here too. Just a small little hut to call our base. That's where I set my spawn, on that bed. In here, we put in 2 beds in the corners. And I'm thinking just on this wall, this could be our storage room. So as I get more stuff, like I remove more dirt or things, we can just throw it in a chest in here. And then this one, it's just a bed in a barrel. It's, again, where I'm not planning on using that one, but what I am planning to do is with my last couple of days here, I'm gonna go ahead and do some fishing. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.